Out front now, Patrick Healy from the New York Times, Jamie Gangel, our special correspondent, conservative commentator Kayleigh McEnany, and Democratic strategist Jonathan Ticini. Jamie, let's just start with Mitt Romney. And I'm sorry, my jaw's on the ground, and I'm going to show everybody why in a moment. But would he really want a job in this administration? He has called Trump a phony, a con man, and a fraud, and those were a few of the nicer things that he said about Donald Trump.
So when I got the call about this news today, I was shocked and stunned, except this may be crazy, or it may be one of the smartest things you've ever seen, if it will work. Here's what I know. Mitt Romney has told friends for a long time that he would still like to go back into government and serve, and there was one job he wanted, and that was Secretary of State. So clearly, he's having this meeting because he's at least willing to listen to what Donald Trump has to say, despite all of those things that he said. And I've been told by a source that the people on the transition say there is, from their perspective, a serious possibility, quote, serious possibility that he would be offered state, but obviously the meeting hasn't happened, and one person's going to decide this, and that's
of course Donald Trump. Because Kayleigh, not only did Mitt Romney say extremely negative things about Donald Trump, Trump then returned the favor. A lot of this actually happened in back-to-back days. Lest anyone has forgotten, let me play it.
Here's what I know. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud.
But here's a disloyal guy. See, he's an elitist.
His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University.
The guy's a stone-cold loser.
I'm sorry, stone cold, not just a loser, Kayleigh, a stone cold loser. But Romney went in detail. I mean, this went on and on. He can't vote for Donald Trump, he said, because he supports policies of racism, xenophobia, misogyny, and bigotry. That's a quote from Mitt Romney. Would Trump actually pick Mitt Romney?
I think Donald Trump's going to pick the best person for the job. And look, they exchanged some rather caustic barbs. There's no denying that. But I think it's very commendable that the president-elect is bringing in people who were his adversaries at times, like Nikki Haley, like Mitt Romney, because what he realizes is at the end of the day, it's not about who's personally offended by who said what. It's who is best for the American people. And Donald Trump wants the most qualified person, regardless of political bruises that may come with it. He wants the best person for the job, and that's commendable.
And yet loyalty matters to him, Patrick.
Loyalty matters enormously, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think that Donald Trump right now has two goals. One is the party was divided not so long ago.
Right.
When you become president-elect, you can start uniting the party with the big people, with people like Nikki Haley and Mitt Romney, people who did oppose you, Paul Ryan, during the general election. You can start bringing those people in. So he wants everybody at least to sort of be heading toward his side of the fence, coming on board. So make peace. The thing is, Donald Trump also is having people in to see who he hits it off with now that he's president-elect, and who he doesn't. That was part of the Nikki Haley thing.
A lot of this with him is a gut.
A lot of this is a gut with him. But he also, I remember talking to him at one point, during the campaign, he liked the team of rivals idea that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton had. You can find plenty of clips from 2008 where Obama and Clinton said lots of tough things. Not quite as nasty, but that's Donald Trump. You know you get that.
So I never thought I would agree with Mitt Romney about anything, but Mitt Romney was right. Donald Trump is a phony, he is a con man, he is a fraud, he is xenophobic, he's a racist and a bigot, and it's one reason that the Mormon Church has roundly rejected him. And there was one point at which in Utah he was running third in the polls. I mean, it got scrambled.
But Jonathan, somebody's going to be Secretary of State.
So
do you want it to be Rudy Giuliani or do you want it to be Mitt Romney? I mean, who would you...
So what I wanted to say was I don't think we should normalize what really is happening, which is Donald Trump is not capable of conducting foreign policy. It goes to the top. This man, if you actually read the debates, you would see that he's not capable about stringing together 3 or 4 sentences and thinking of an idea. Now, to the point, Rudy Giuliani is not qualified to be Secretary of State.
Well, it sounds like from the argument you're making that you would want Mitt Romney to be Secretary of State.
I don't care. I don't actually care who's Secretary of State because actually at the top, the buck stops there. And the problem is that Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. He's not qualified.
But he is president.
I know.
He is, okay?
But I'm just saying, in terms of the policy of thinking about somebody being able to conduct foreign policy, it is a very scary thought for all Americans.
Millions and millions of Americans disagree with you, Jonathan. And I really wish you'd adhere to the words of President Obama. Let's use this as a moment to call for unity and come together and give him a chance.
He's a bigot and a racist, and I am not going to normalize him. I am not going to. And my goal is to do what Mitch McConnell did with Obama. My goal is to try to make Donald Trump a one-term president and to delegitimize him at every step.
And to mischaracterize him at every
He's
step.
a racist.
Clearly.
Can I just
Even
add
Mitch
one
one
word
thought?
here.
Barack Obama said Donald Trump is not an ideologue, he's a pragmatist
Yes,
this
he did.
past week. If Donald Trump can come to terms with a Mitt Romney who can bring in a very professional staff and they can make this work, that's a pragmatic outcome.
That's a
And
test
all-
for Trump.
And
Test for Trump.
a major test, and of course, this meeting coming up, all of you staying with me. Next, the Democrats' new Trump strategy. If you can't beat him, join him. Plus, should Muslims be afraid of an immigrant registry? My next guest says there is precedent with Japanese internment camps, and we'll take you to the small town in Slovenia